Hi, Strong Mamas. So I'm going to take you through a beginner TRX workout routine. So if you have access to a TRX or another form of suspension trainer, they're fantastic devices to use for training. You have to balance a lot more. You have to stabilize your joints more than you would just using dumbbells or even your own body weight. So it's a great way to train, and plus it offloads some of your body weight for some of the exercises. So things you might not normally be able to do, you can do with a TRX. So what you want to do is set it up so that the handles are right about level with your kneecap. Okay, you don't want it any longer than that. Don't have it so low to the floor or much higher than that, because it's going to make some of the suspended stuff a little bit harder. So make sure that they're even and that the handles are level with your kneecap here. So our first circuit, we're going to begin in a suspended position. In fact, all three of the exercises in the first circuit, you're going to begin on the floor. Okay, so you're going to begin suspended, and what we'll do is we'll just take one foot and kind of fish it on, take the other foot and put it on, keeping your knees on the floor. Double check to make sure that your feet are level, that your foot cradles are level to each other, okay? And we're going to just position our elbows on the floor because we're going to hold a regular plank to begin with, okay? So once we are up in that nice level plank position, you're going to feel a little shaky. We're going to hold that position for 5 good breaths, okay? So we're working on quality over quantity. 5 really nice, slow, long, deep breaths, just holding that position. Okay, so begin by just straightening your legs out. And go ahead and start breathing. There's 2, 3, 4, one more deep breath. 5, now to come out of it, bring your knees down, okay? Try not to come out of any suspended position by just dropping to the floor. That's gonna put pressure on your back. So always, if you're in a suspended position, come out of it by bringing your knees to the floor, okay? So let the TRX fall off of your feet. We're gonna flip over and do hamstring curls next. So we're facing the TRX now. We're facing the anchor point. Here's the trick to get your heels in, okay? So grab the foot cradles with both hands, both fingertips right at the bottom of the foot cradle. Lay on your back and bring your knees to your chest. Let me get these untangled. That's the problem with having 2 TRXs. Okay, so lay back on the floor, bring your knees to your chest between the handles, and you're just going to slide your heels right on top of your fingertips and press down at the same time with both heels. Okay, and now you're in. So what we're going to do is let the legs go out straight. If you're touching the wall here, you're too close to the wall. If the TRX is so far back from the wall, you probably need to scoot in closer. So you want it so it's hanging pretty vertical, okay? From this position, you're laying on the floor. You've got even pressure between both feet. You're just going to lift your hips up off the floor and pull your heels to your butt. Okay, we're going to go 10 of these. These are very hard to begin with. Make sure you're pulling evenly with both legs. There's 4. Keep your hips up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more here. Fight for it. There's 10. Bring your hips to the floor and lift your feet. Okay? After that, we're going to flip over and face away from the wall. We're going to be in a kneeling position with our hands on the handles. Okay, so your knees are on the floor. Your feet are anchored back behind you by the wall. Before you begin this position, what I want you to do is tuck your tail just a little bit. Okay, you're going to tuck your tail, and that's going to anchor your hips, anchor your glutes, anchor your back. And we have to hold that position the whole time. What we're going to do is a rollout. So we're just going to fall forward with our body, bring it towards the floor. And as you do that, your arms will lift towards the ceiling and then come back to vertical with your body. We're going to go 10 of those. Fall forward towards the floor, always holding that tight tension through your low back. Mostly through your abs, actually. It's your abs that are supporting your back here. They're supporting your back from extending. That's why sometimes your abs can be called anti-extenders. They prevent your back from arching. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to use those abs to keep your back neutral, and keeping that tail tucked under is the trick here. So we're doing 10 of these. So fall forward as far as you can go under good control. Okay, let's go 3 more. Arms are straight. And I have my fingertips pointed. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure that I'm not gripping the handles like crazy. You don't want a death grip on the handles. Okay, so there's 10 rollouts. So at that point, you're gonna go back to the beginning of that circuit, go back to your plank, start over. So do your prone plank, do that for 5 deep breaths, and then you're gonna do suspended hamstring curls, do that for 10 more, and then you're gonna finish with those kneeling rollouts again for 10. So now we're gonna get up off the floor and we're gonna do squats, okay? So for your squats, you're standing back away from the anchor point. Feet are going to be parallel to each other, okay? So you're lined up point. This is what you should look like squared up to your anchor point, okay? So you're lined up at your anchor point. Good relaxed position through your elbows, and you're just gonna sit down and back like you're sitting into a chair. Okay, we're gonna go 10 of these. So doing this with a TRX is a great way to double check your technique. You can really pay attention to what your knees are doing here. You wanna make sure your knees stay right above your ankles. You can even pull your toes up off the floor to make sure your weight is back in your heels. Take a second here and look at your grip. All right, do you have a death grip on the handle? If you do, release it. Pretend like you're holding eggshells here. You can take your thumb off of the handles to make sure that you're not gripping too hard. Let's go 1 more squat. Okay, from that position, we're gonna do low and mid rows, okay? So I want you to walk your feet in towards the anchor point just a little bit, okay? And actually, this is the top position of our row. This is what we're pulling up into, okay? Now the difference between a low row and a mid row is your arm position. This is a low row, your elbows are low. A mid row, your elbows are out to the side a little bit, okay? So we're actually gonna do 10 of each. Okay, so we're gonna do 10 where you pull straight back with your elbows close to your rib cage. And then we're gonna do 10 where you pull straight back where your elbows are slightly flared away from your rib cage. No matter what version we're doing, keep your body nice and flat from head to feet, okay? So let's start with the low ones. So pull directly in, keeping your elbows sliding right along your rib cage. Keep your chin up. Your body is flat. I want you to give me the best posture you can possibly have. Now, I have a tendency, and I just caught myself there, of overarching, okay, where you pull so far forward or you think that you're having better posture where you're actually arching. Don't do that. Okay, so keep your body locked through your midsection. Let's go 1 more of these, then let's switch to a mid. So this time when you pull up, your elbows are slightly flared. Okay, your palms can kind of be at a 45-degree angle now. Now your palms are facing the floor a little bit. Elbows are flared away from your sides. Okay, keep that good posture. You're still having your chin aiming up at the anchor point. And I think that's 10 there. So after we do that, we're gonna sit up straight again, and we're gonna do a reverse lunge. Okay, so I'm actually gonna shorten this up. You don't have to shorten these up, but just for my purposes here, so I stay in the frame for the video, I'm gonna shorten these up, okay? So, you're standing up nice and tall. Make sure you don't have a death grip. Your elbows are relaxed. We're just gonna take a giant step backwards and sink into a reverse lunge, okay? And then you're gonna stand back forward, bringing that leg forward. We're gonna continue going with that leg, and then stand back forward. Watch your posture on this one, stay upright. Your arms will move here a little bit. When you're in your bottom position, your arms are almost straight. When you're fully standing, your elbows are back by your sides. Again, you don't want a death grip. Nice and relaxed. Watch that knee for me too. Make sure that that forward knee, the one that's not moving, is still pointing straight forward. Don't let it point inward or outward. Let's go one more and then we're gonna switch legs. Okay, so now plant your other foot directly where your first foot was planted. Take a step backwards and then come back forward. Forward. Doing 10 of these. 4, 5, 6. You can go pretty quick when I'm not talking quite so much at you. That's where it starts to begin to be very cardio. When you're not taking many breaks and you're just moving very quickly from one thing to the next. That's what you want, okay, is to move quickly. Always maintaining good technique, but don't take many breaks, okay? Next, we're gonna flip around. This is our last exercise. Feet are gonna be back by the anchor point. And the closer your feet are to the anchor point, the harder this exercise. It's a chest press, which is basically a push-up, but suspended, so your arms can move, so that makes it a little harder. So if your feet are all the way back here, this is harder versus being more upright with your body, okay? So my feet are back here. Nice straight line from head to heels. We're gonna bring the chest between the hands and then push back up. Don't drop so far that you lose all control of your arms. You don't wanna feel like you're just hanging here. Always maintain tension. Come right there and then push right back up. Right about there and then push right back up. If you don't have a damaged shoulder, it's okay if your elbows go back behind your body a little bit. Just don't let them hang back there. You don't want to hang so far where they're really flared out behind your body. Keep your elbows in control. Palms are facing the floor here. Body is straight. You should feel like you're holding a plank as you're doing this. This is why core training translates to everything. If you're very good at planks, you're going to be very good at other stuff too. Okay, let's go one more of these. I wasn't really counting, but that's probably about 10. Okay, so that's your chest press, and that's the final exercise on this circuit. Okay, so once you finish that chest press, take a break if you need to. Rewind the video and start over with that circuit. So you're going to start back over with your squats.